So here's another Conrad tweet that this was a sensation. Everyone was talking about this. This is from October 21st, 2020. I'm going to read it to you. This is Conrad Golden. Yes, feminism is a bigger problem today than coronavirus. While coronavirus has a higher killed body count, feminism has a much higher, all caps, much higher destroyed mind count. That has been going on for much longer. Minds are what define us as human. Killing a mind is killing a person by proxy. Wow, unpack that one for us. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Okay. To start, we've looked at the current COVID crisis, seen economic collapse, mass unemployment, mass evictions, and decided that women is worse. Like that's a great place to start for like just the mindset of this. That like actually, it kind of speaks to a larger problem we have with, I guess, like news cycles, personalized media, feedback loops, stuff like that, where like he can't break out of this. He knows there's a global crisis going on, and this has affected the entire world. And yet,
but wait, but by global crisis has affected the entire world, you mean the destroyed mind count of feminism?
Exactly, because there's nothing more important than what is it? I don't even know what type of feminism he's mad at. That's another like problem with the entirety of the Conrad thing, because there's many different forms of feminism, like all sorts, postmodern, post-colonialist, which are different from one another already, different waves of feminisms, and people who argue within those different types of feminisms, Marxist feminism, xenofeminism, for fuck's sake, like all sorts of shit. And he's just the idea of it, though. And all of these things disagree with one another. This is another complex philosophical canon that he just reduces down to like a Jordan Peterson-esque, women are superior to men or equal, but the patriarchy makes me lesser, therefore bad. Like a very simple 2014 YouTube formulation. And the idea that like accepting another form of philosophy or just an understanding of the problems to date from a historically marginalized group of people is somehow a threat to him, his Western canon, etc., is incredibly telling in his own right, but just it's baffling. It's kind of like Ronald Reagan explaining you the Bible. Like nothing's right, but you can't look away from this tire fire because it doesn't make any sense. You don't know where to approach it because it's so outlandish. So, like,
well, while you were unpacking that, I've been searching the UN website for stats on destroyed minds of feminism.
Do we have any numbers?
It's way worse. It's way worse than you're thinking.
Oh God! All those feminist gorillas are taking over.
What do you think he's what do you think he's referring to there? Because that's the part that like mystifies me the most.
I think what he's getting at is the kind of there be dragons fear that feminism, postmodernism, they're married in these people's minds, that they're indoctrinating people, that we can't escape like this feminist framework and it's overtaking us, and if it wins, then we're in Stalinism somehow. That, like, I think that's where he's going with it, is that like it's ruined our institutions.
So you're saying that the destroyed minds include the 500 billion killed by Marxism over the 20th century.
Yes, the 500 billion Venezuelans who so painfully died under the reign of Joseph Stalin.
I mean, honestly, he's got a case here. I mean, that sounds way worse than coronavirus to me.
I think he's got a point with that, to be honest. You know, what is just the fact that we have underfunded women's departments in places, and like one of the most serious things that I think tells that he's not an academic is that anybody like remotely close to the vicinity of these gender studies, women's studies departments, like they understand that these are underfunded and like basically just ghettoized in the terms of academic prestige. Like they've just been left to rot. Nobody wants to take it seriously. And it's a damn shame, because
what about at Evergreen College, where they patrolled the halls armed with baseball bats and led a Maoist purge?
That's right. They did do that, and they actually only went after the white guys.
What you don't understand is that Conrad Golden studies postmodernism at Evergreen College.
He was there on the scene, actually doing real journalism with Tim Pool in the process to get the on the ground details we need to know.
He was working closely beside Benjamin Boyce, documenting everything. I don't know if you know who Benjamin Boyce is. He's this guy on YouTube who makes videos about Evergreen College, and he was there when that happened.
But, was he actually?
Yeah. But there's this guy who's in the footage of like like so much of the Evergreen stuff. There's this guy standing there. He looks exactly like Benjamin Boyce.
Really?
I always thought that was him. Like, oh, that guy standing there, that's Benjamin Boyce. There you go. He said he was there. We're looking at him. That's Benjamin Boyce. He had a doppelganger at Evergreen College.
Okay, hear me out real quick, right?
There's a fake Benjamin Boyce in the Evergreen College footage.
So what we don't understand is we as naive fools who could never understand the complexities of feminism. This is what Conrad knows that we don't, is that feminism actually solved the problem of the doppelganger crisis we have on this planet. And Benjamin Boyce met his at Evergreen College. And the entire Maoist purges that occurred there was actually to cover while one of those two Benjamin Boyces duked it out and claimed the other's scalp, so that there could only be one. As everyone knows you have to do with your doppelganger. And that's what happened. That this was all cover, smoke and mirrors, and then somehow the Weinsteins ascended under this problem. But that's neither here nor there. But that was what's really going on at Evergreen College. Media won't tell you that one.
The media does not want you to know that Benjamin Boyce killed his dark archetypal reflection and ascended to a higher state of being.
That's right. As on the ground YouTuber, the most perfect form of being we could imagine.
If you want to learn that truth, you have to watch all 25 chapters of Benjamin Boyce's.
Is it actually 25 chapters? Like,
it's something like that. I got halfway through it. I'm hoping to attain that higher state one day. I started watching it because I was looking for specifically one piece of footage, which is, so I was a skeptic. I was an Evergreen College truther. Bret Weinstein has told many people that there was an episode at Evergreen where the students armed with baseball bats did a campus-wide search and were searching cars for someone, presumably him. So they were like standing guard over the college and searching cars that were like leaving campus. Now I read this and everyone referenced this. It all came from Bret, but there was never any evidence of it. And I became a truther about this. And I asked Bret Weinstein about this. And it's one of the only times he's ever actually responded to me. And he goes, oh, there's lots of footage. Don't have a link, bye. And I'm like, okay, this is sketchy. So I was getting to the point where I was going to like publicly like accuse him of making this up. But I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this though, I got to make sure. So I've got to watch all 25 episodes of Benjamin Boyce's Evergreen College documentary. So I started going through them I would just have them on at 1.5 speed, right? And I got halfway through and I'm like, okay, I feel like we would have gotten to this part by now. I feel like
that's a selling point. Like,
absolutely, it's a selling point. It should be front and center. So I was pretty close to like coming out and being like, Bret Weinstein's a liar. I'm on Twitter. I'm in a flame war with someone. I don't remember what it is. Where names, accusations are flying, and I say it, and I say, look, I'm pretty sure that Evergreen story by Bret. I'm pretty sure it's not on the level. I'm pretty sure it's at least embellished because there's no footage of this. Yeah. Guess what happens? Boom! Benjamin Boyce on the spot materializes right there immediately. Within a minute, he's there. He's replying to me. He's like, here you go. He's got a link. And he links me to a standalone video not included in any of his 25 parts, documentary parts. And he's got the video footage of kids searching cars. We don't know what they're doing, but it's up to no good. They're trying to make trouble in the neighborhood. So I was owned. I was proved wrong. He's got the footage.
So but were they armed with bats as well? Like patrolling cars?
Bats.
Oh shit! Okay.
So basically, they're operating as a checkpoint. Cars have to cross through them to get out, and they're like stopping them, and like they're like inquisitors. Yeah, you know, they're sentries.
That's basically whatever happens in any Antifa march in Portland when they start directing traffic. Like, oh god. It's just like at first I was like, this is horrible, and then I was like, I've seen so much footage of that from Portland. Like, just remembered, like, which is bad too. Don't get me wrong. Not a fan of just threatening people with bats for. I don't even know what crime you could commit in that. Parking incorrectly, I suppose, but like
the main takeaway is the Antifa guys are always terrible at directing the traffic.
And very important too. They just tell people to go to the right, and I don't understand why. People have other places to go. We're people, the working class. Like,
if you're watching Antifa direct traffic, they're never doing a good job. I don't know. They need to take a seminar or something if they're going to be
honestly,
doing
this. You think, Jesus, you figure the workers' co-op would have figured out the right guy to direct traffic by now. I figured we would have had that one down.
You think an army of self-employed graphic designers would be able to figure this one out, but surprisingly, no.
Jesus.
You know, I used to live there, right? I used to live in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I lived
Oh,
there.
I had no idea. I thought you were an LA guy for a bit.
Portland's good times. Whenever people try to make it out like it's like some kind of like, I don't know, like dangerous dystopia that you should like need to be afraid of, I always roll
it's all
my
the
eyes.
Chaz.
Yeah,
Like
the Chaz. That's Seattle though.
Oh, was that Seattle? Fuck. What was the one in Portland?
Yeah.
Didn't they have one? Was it Chop or I can't fucking remember.
The Chop was Chaz. It was the same thing.
Oh, okay. So I'm just misinformed on the subject.
I don't think that that Portland has its own Chaz, but like it just sounds like they like take over like some block in downtown Portland every night. According to Andy, no.
That's right. And who is an expert on this and definitely not a threat to our community. At this point, like it's probably just a very common protest. Like when I was protesting for the Black Lives Matter, like we just took over a block, no questions asked. Just we didn't direct traffic. We just stood there and had people threaten to hit us. Never happened. And I got tear gassed. But
Oh really? I've never been tear gassed.
It's what they don't tell you is it's actually like a very fine film that gets on your clothes. And yeah, so it's like there's the irritants are actual solids, and I didn't know that. So learn that the hard way. Thanks, feds.
Were you doing that this summer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
My city was not very big on it though, because originally I had just started to I was going down there with a friend who was an actual organizer, and he was like, "Yeah, we need bodies in the line. I'm not going to ask you to do that, but like it's important to us." I was like, "Fuck it, I only got one chance." So we did that, and then all the momentum died out in my city very quickly, which was a shame because like
how long did it go on for?
We had a weekend of like actual like honest to God like protests with like this face off with the cops. Everything else was performative. Like by the end of that, there was the videos of cops kneeling with people, all that goodness. Okay. Yeah.
If the cops want to defuse the stuff, that's all they got to do. Like
just get the libs.
Yeah, seriously. Once the cops are like holding hands and like singing with you guys, just fuck this. Go home.
Yeah, like you've lost. There's no more questions. They got it. Like pack that one up.
Yeah. The state has won yet again. They've crushed the People's Rebellion. All right, so Conrad, he's got a great follow up to this. So he recants on his position that feminism has killed more people than COVID. He agrees that the true death of COVID represents a greater threat than the mind death of feminism. Okay, fair enough. You've critiqued that to our satisfaction, but then he's got a follow up here that I think is very interesting. But this question is very similar to one that would be summarized as : if you were kidnapped and given a choice to either receive a brain operation to make you a Nazi, so a Nazi making brain operation, or alternately die. So your two choices are a brain operation makes you a Nazi, or you die.
Or the wall. Yeah.
What would you choose? The classic moral dilemma.
The classic trolley problem updated for the modern man, of course. And I just like I can't get over this real quick because the leap from like he wants to keep the essence of the problem there, right? You know, do you sacrifice your beliefs for something you don't believe in but you're forced to have, or true death? Like, is your freedom worth dying for, a young man? It sounds very grand and posthumous, but we've gone from, you know, feminism and COVID are equitable somehow to, okay, would you rather be a Nazi or die? Like, this is a trajectory in this man's mind that is coherent and not just something that you would say when you're really high with your buddies. Like,
like how he gets for like, he's like, oh, this brings up this very similar question. It's like, I don't see how this is a similar question at all, Conrad.
It's mind blowing. Like somehow being a feminist is equitable to Nazi because, you know, feminism is an all oppressive idea that also has a poorly underlying economic structure and somehow relies on, you know, creating a mythologized past and grievances of the people. Like that's feminism, right? But we all know that wave in post-colonial feminism where they take over cities based on that we used to be whites or some shit like that. Who knows?
Yep.
So, and then to jump to it and then just go straight to death because COVID is now just equal to death in this man's mind. It's just everything was taken up to 11, but the things he thought he kept the same were Nazis and feminists, as if they're somehow on the same plane.
I think the biggest thing, like fuck up he did was saying it's not like you are forced to support the Nazis or like, okay, so you are live in like a Nazi occupied city and you have to like go to like the parades and chant Sieg Heil or whatever. right? But like he's saying, like you get an operation in your brain that makes you a Nazi. So the doctor goes in and flips the Nazi switch in your brain, which brings up the whole spectra of determinism. And so if this is just a switch in my brain, then what does it even matter? Really, what does it matter what I believe?
If we're that close to the question, then like, what's it? Yeah, that's a really good point actually on that. Like, if all it takes is one brain operation, can we just be utopians at that point? Can it all just magically work?
Conrad needs to watch this episode of Star Trek Voyager that addresses this specifically, because Tuvok has some problem in his brain. I forget what it is. It makes him crazy or something. So the doctor says, well, Tuvok, I can give you this operation that will just turn off that crazy switch in your brain. And he's like, oh, okay, let's do that. It's exactly like that. I don't remember this episode very well.
And that's exactly on par for him. Like,
I don't actually remember the details of that episode.
You know more about it than I do. My entire family is actually Star Trek people, and I am not. I hate to say it, although I think is it Babylon 5, right?
That's Babylon 5, man.
She's sorry. I have like you just unpacked some Thanksgiving wars my family has, because they always argue about this. I don't know why, but I just remember.
Oh, they argue about Star Trek versus Babylon 5
all the time, and I'm not joking.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's just my dad's side of the family. I don't know what possesses them, but like my aunt at the time of like science fiction's like big wave, she wrote it very hard. She was super into it, and now like it's just spread through my whole family like a virus, like feminism. So,
are they debating any particular Star Trek? Is it Star Trek Deep Space Nine versus Babylon 5?
I couldn't tell you. That's actually above my pay grade.
Okay, because that's the classic rivalry, because they were on TV at the same time.
It's exactly that then, because I know they would fight over it. They both wanted to watch it, they didn't like it. Yeah, okay.
I think I have a tweet about this. I think I have a tweet where I said, how do you all feel about that Star Trek Deep Space Nine versus Babylon 5? And I took a side, but I don't know if I should tell you. This might be awaken some family rivalry.
Look, your choices are landing on the side of the cool aunt or the dorky ass dad. You can pick whichever one, but you don't get to know which one's which.
Okay, so I'll tell you what my answer is, and you tell me if I'm on your dorky ass dad, and then what's your aunt?
Super cool aunt.
Okay, so I am a Babylon 5 guy.
All right, you're a cool aunt. Congratulations.
Nice. Me and your aunt are gonna hang out.
You guys would probably get along, because she actually got me a copy of what is it? Small is Beautiful. Like that old economics book. It came out in like the 70s, but it was like revolutionary in the terms of like being a first like mass market like leftism that's just like, what if we thought about the economy differently? But it's kind of rooted in that fear of running out of resources that was ever prevalent in the late 60s because of energy crisis. Sorry, this is very niche, but
yeah, I've never heard of this book, but it sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was a big deal at the time, because like in the same way that, every couple of years we get like an Enlightenment Now or some other book like that, this filled the role for that. And that like it just sold out a lot and was actually huge. So like it influenced.
Okay, what's it called again?
Small is Beautiful. And
Small is Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. So that's our book recommendation.
There you go.
Small is Beautiful and Babylon 5. That's our recommendations for this episode.
That's right.
I wanted to close out.
Yeah, go ahead. No, my joke was going to take that completely out, so go close it out.
I was going to say I was going to close it out with a classic Conrad tweet, but I think he deleted the Animal Crossing one.
There's no way he deleted it. He's actually proud of that. Like, this is another bit of Conrad lore I have, but like I got him in the comment section one time, and he takes it very personally, the amount of flack that got, because, and I quote, it was like he thought it was I can't quote it because I can't remember what he said, it's long gone, but he thought it was an honest academic try at that. And it's I guess he deleted it. That's what Sand said, right? She had a point about that. I think when he deleted his account the second time, he wiped all his tweets too, because there was one tweet.
This was after, though. I'm positive this was after.
Was it after the second account delete?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure I know about either the first or the second. I only know about one.
Okay, so the first one is the classic arc of the Jangles carrying out the debate. Conrad comes back in the Rising Phoenix idea. All right, you know what? I've been here long enough. This time, I admit it. I challenge Jangles to a debate. And Jangles is like, okay, what do you want to debate? And he says, no, written only on this website where we do notes back and forth. And he's like, no, dude, fuck that.
Letters.com, right?
Did that? Yeah, that's what it was. And he wanted to do that. And then he was like, dude, fuck off. No, like we're going to debate. You're going to do it on my show like you said you were. And I'm not going to pick whatever crazy ass topic you want to. So Conrad gets upset and does like a long rant about bullying and how he thought he had made friends here and how it's always been hard for him to make friends. And I'm not joking. This is probably the most like tender Conrad tweet I've ever seen, because he lets us into the man behind Conrad a bit, no longer just the character, and deletes his Twitter.
Oh man, I missed this. I totally missed the storyline.
Yeah, it was almost heartfelt. Like I kind of felt bad for kicking him like a dog with mange on Twitter every chance I got. And like he came back, so it's fine. It was just dramatic.
Yeah, as long as you can dust him off.
Exactly.
Yeah, letters.com. That's Iana Italia's site. So
oh, that all makes sense.
Yeah, it's got the James Lindsay IDW light connection.
Yeah. How is she doing? I haven't heard that name in so long. I gave up on that era.
I'm like, she does not talk to me.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not the guy who knows how that's going.
I thought we used to bully her a lot, though. Maybe we've since moved on her from our IDW days. Less interesting.
I don't think that was me, because like I think even before I knew you, she had this like dust up with Tom Koch. She like made these accusations against him, and then like it turned out she confused him with someone else entirely, and then like she just had some total meltdown and blocked all of us. So I'm currently unblocked, but if I say anything, she just like scowls at me and then makes a big production of how she's going to mute me. So wait, I don't know. She's great. She's doing great. She's fantastic.
Yeah. Wonderful lady. Did she get Tom Koch as a blunt confused with that old Tom Koch or Tom Blokount, which is like the guy with the bunny ears? Or is it the same guy?
She got him confused with the fake Blunty account. Remember that guy, Blunty King?
Oh, yeah. No, I remember this meltdown. Oh, my God.
Yeah. It was one for the ages, man. Because she goes all out calling him. She calls him racist. She says he's like one of the most evil people on Twitter. She calls him like a pathological liar. And then about an hour later, it all gets straightened out. I was like, oh, you're confused him with someone else. And she just totally weasels out of it. It was an all-time meltdown.
I get just absolute classic of like damage control block. Not, oh God.
She pulled the you're bullying me card. Like, oh, I can't believe you're bullying me, even though I apologize. Like, Jesus Christ, lady. Come on.
You don't get to be the victim here for your own manufactured meltdown. We regret to inform you.
She like apologized, but then like in the apology called him a liar. It's like, lady, that's not how it works.
That's not a concession. Like,
anyways, I might have to delete all this. I'm not sure. I can put this out. I don't want to be stirring the pot.
That's fair. No, I completely understand that. That was just for genuine curiosity, not for the show.
Funny bit about that story is I was like, wow, Ayana's totally off the deep end here. I wasn't expecting this level of temper tantrum. And I checked over on her timeline, and her timeline is like, I just got out of the Freddie Mercury movie, and it was the most beautiful I've ever seen. To be remembered of Freddie's beautiful voice and stage presence. She was in the middle of like this like post Freddie Mercury euphoria.
Oh my! Wait, you killed her vibe?
I totally killed her vibe coming out of that Freddie Mercury movie.
God.
Apparently, she loved the Freddie Mercury movie. I had no idea.
Yeah, you hit her real good on that.
There was no way for me to know that.
How dare you?
Nothing would have tipped me off to that. There's no way I was going to be like, oh, I better not tweet at Ayana. She probably just got out of the Freddie Mercury movie.
Yeah, she's still coming down off that Freddie Mercury high.
Anyways, thanks for coming on. This was a great conversation. GaussianBoner on Twitter. Thanks for having on. We'll do it again, and we'll learn about postmodernism from the tweets of James Lindsay next time.
The only way to do it, and thank you so much for having me on.